Hey, what is up guys? In this video we're gonna see how we can build a student card generator or builder using JavaScript. A student card is something we use everywhere, as a student. And this video came to my mind because I remember doing this thing every year. I'm required as a student to fill in a form to get a student card, which takes, in most cases, like 2 or 3 months to get it. And the form you're seeing in here is just pretty much the same, similar to the one we use in our school. So you just need to fill this form with your data, name, date of birth, etc., and upload an image. And you can see a preview in here and download it. Okay, let's give it a try. So let's say Jamie Trick. Don't worry about the name. It just came to my mind. Okay, I'll say from 1993, for example, still studying, yeah. And I'll say he's in the 3rd year, and give it some dummy subscription number. Let's upload in a photo. Say this one. Let's see a preview. There we go. That's it. And we can even download it and see a preview of your card. Alright, that's it. Let's see how to make this kind of real world app from scratch. Alright, I've created 3 files, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I brought this image, which is a alarm logo, which will be used in the logo part. Okay, so I'm gonna say hit this exclamation mark and tab, gives us this boilerplate, HTML boilerplate. Comes from an image shortcut, and I'm gonna call it student card generator. Generator. Okay, and I'm gonna link the CSS style CSS and the script tag for the source, which is the main JS. Okay, that's fine. And I should mention that I'm using a package called Atom Live Server, which enables Live Reload. Okay, good package. It's very handy. Alright, the first thing I'm gonna do is to create a main div which will cover the whole content. Okay, so we're gonna use it as the kind of the body. Okay, so I'll say div, like I said, back, which is the background somehow. Now inside this giant box, we'll have 2 main sections. The first one is gonna be the form, and the second one will be reserved for the canvas, which will contain the result. Okay. Now the canvas is might sound strange to you, but we'll cover it later. It's gonna be kind of another div. It's gonna be the student card container. All right. Now, as I said, we're gonna start with the form. Doesn't have any action, anything. And the first thing inside this form, I'm gonna write this h3 tag, and I'll say please fill in the form. Okay, now we're gonna have 6 inputs in total: name, date of birth, field, etc. And for each input we'll attach a label on top of it. Okay, now in order to save some time, I'm gonna just put these couple of lines. I'll say a label for nothing, and right here I'm gonna say full name, and then input, type of text for now, and it's gonna have an ID, which will be set later, and placeholder and nothing. Now, as I said, I'm gonna copy and paste both of these lines, and I'm gonna say, okay, I'm going to paste them 5 times. And this is the third, fourth, 5. Okay. Now the second one is going to be, let's just delete all these things. Okay. The second label is going to be for the date of birth, I think, yeah. Date of birth. Okay. And let's say this placeholder is going to be birth. Okay. And it's going to have an ID of in birth. It's going to be the input of the birthday. Okay. Third one is going to be the field, I think. The field. And it's going to have in field and a placeholder of field. You can just get rid of that if you don't want to, guys. Okay. Third thing, the fourth is going to be the year. Which year are we starting now? It's going to have in year. I'll say year. Okay. And this the fifth is going to be the subscription number. Okay. And I'll give it an ID of in number. Okay. And it's gonna have a placeholder, a sub, okay, number, right? I think we should change these ones. The field is text, the year is gonna be a number, and the subscription number are gonna be numbers. Okay. Okay, that's it. What's next? Now the last thing is gonna be the label. Last label is gonna be for the image. I will say upload an image. Okay. And we should tell the student now. We should tell the student to not pick any kind of image. You know, it might be an Instagram photo on the beach or in a party maybe or whatever. So we'll first make a line break and we'll create a span. And we'll say choose one that describes you perfectly. Okay. There we go. Let's take a look at the thing in here. Has it gone? Okay, there we go. Nothing's good. Now the last label, which is this one, which is the specified guy for the image, is gonna have 2 attributes. The first one will be for what? It's gonna be for the file, which will be created in here. This file, now this one is going to be reserved for the image. So this is the button when we click on will give us the ability to upload an image or to choose an image from our local storage. So it's going to have a file type, and in addition to that, let's give it an ID of file. And let me get back to here. So this label is going to be, now this file value is just the one that goes in here in the ID, okay? And it's gonna have a class of upload. Alright, so this input isn't going to be as simple as the others because we're gonna need to give it a couple of additional attributes which are accept and on change. Now let's set them before get this one. It's not gonna have any placeholder, but instead, as I said, it's gonna have a new attribute called accept, and it'll say we're not gonna accept anything other than image, and this is the way we do it. The second one is gonna be on change. On change, this means whenever we click on that button, we're going to run this function called load image, which will have an event. Okay, there you go. Let's make it sunlight. There you go. So accept will obviously accept nothing except images. It would simply accept files with type of image. It could be JPEG, PNG, or whatever. And basically, we can specify the extension type. Just like I said, PNG, JPEG, or etc. You can just add it in here, you know, PNG or stuff like that, okay? And the second attribute is going to call the load function, load image function. So it gives us the ability to upload an image. Okay, that's it for the inputs. Now we need the button to take the inputs data and shift them to the card, okay? So I'll say button will have a type of submit to it, and it's gonna have an ID of preview, and that's it. So I'll just say preview. Okay, now we move on to the output part where we will show our data. First off, I'm gonna create a container, say div container. Then we'll have the code box, and we'll say div. It's gonna have a class of card and an ID of result. Here we're gonna make two main parts: a header featuring the campus name, the state of the student level, and a university logo. Okay, let's put that header stuff right now. So I'll say header, and it's gonna have a class of it's gonna have an ID called head, and we're gonna have another class called camp, which stands for the campus. And inside this one, we're gonna have an h4 tag, say campus card, and a span which will have an undergraduate. Last thing is this guy is going to be the image, which is for the logo account. So I'll say lorem.jpg, and it's going to have an ID logo, and that's it. There we go. You can see most of the stuff has been set. Now right after this header, we're getting into the second main part of this card, which is about the student details, which we have entered earlier as inputs in the form. There's a div that will include the whole content, the image, and the other informations about the student. So I'll say div class of content. Okay, and the first thing is going to be img. So this one is going to have an empty source. This one is going to be the image chosen by the student. So we're going to leave the source empty for now, and instead I'm going to give it an ID called img displayed. Okay, then we'll just make a UL to stick the details vertically in a vertical order. Okay, so I'll say UL, and I'll say li, and it's gonna have an ID, which I'll leave it now, and I'm gonna copy and paste this one thrice. The first one is gonna be about the name. The second will be for the birth, and the third is gonna have field and year. So we're gonna store both of them in the same span. Now this one is gonna be a little bit different because I wanted the the way it looks, I want it to look this way. Okay, so we're gonna have a subscription number and the number itself. Okay, this is how I want it to be. So I'm gonna just say sub and then we're gonna have a span which will have this ID called none. Okay, and what else? I think we still have more. I think that's it for the output, but we do have a download button. Yeah, so I'll say button, give it an ID of down. I'll say download. Just take a look. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's it. We're done with HTML. Time for style with CSS. Okay, let's start with the CSS now. We'll take the body. Actually, we don't have too much stuff in this one. So I'll say body. I'll set the font in this shortcut. So I'll set here the font size 20 pixel and the font family to Helvetica, or maybe Arial. Okay. Then we're gonna have no margin, no padding, and we'll get rid of the overflow, the horizontal scroll, and we'll say hidden. Okay. Next, move on to the H3 tag. Let's take a look at that now. So I have the H3 tag now. It'll have a color of kind of blue. Okay, let's take a look. There you go. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster. Now remember when I started in the HTML, I created a main section for the whole thing called back, you know, which is this one, yeah. So we're going to start with this one. So I'll say back. It's got a margin left of 10. And I'm gonna split it up into two main parts. So I'm gonna say 40% for each. The first one is for the form. You can have a width of 40% and we'll float it to the left. Okay, let's take a look at that. There you go. In the container, we'll just have the same thing. And for that, I'll just say container, and that's it. There we go. But the container will have some specific styles, which are margin top 3M, and the color would be just black. Let's take a look at that now. You know, I don't have too much of different stuffs in here. Okay, let's take the inputs now, and I'm gonna say input. Now I want to make them in a vertical order. For that, we'll set the display to table. So let's say display table. Okay, let's take a look. You can see the way there. There we go. And they're gonna have a margin bottom of 1M, and then a width will be 60%, font size 16 pixel, border is gonna be 2 pixel, solid, that color we choose and it's gonna have a border radius of 5 pixel, and finally the padding is gonna be 3 pixel. Okay, let's take a look at that. There you go, looks quite better. She's quite similar to the result. This is the result. Okay, the final product. This is the final product, guys. Now we are at an interesting stage. Okay, let me say it this way. When I try to style the image input, I'm talking about this one. Yeah, okay. When I try to style this one, I figured out that I wouldn't be able to edit anything in that creepy box. So I googled for a solution and I found an article that shows how you can solve that kind of trouble. Okay? And that I highly recommend to read this article. It's really decent. I'll provide the link below the video if you want, okay? Now the problem is we need to hide that box. Because as I said earlier, we can't style this box, and we can't get rid of this text in here, okay? The problem, as I said, we need to hide that box, but it should be accessible by the browser, because we hide this one. It could result in some trouble. You might think, hey, you can just set the display to none, or maybe visibility to hidden. Well, according to the article's author, this could exclude the input for the input from the browser. In our case, this doesn't have any huge concern because we're just doing this front end. But if you want to send this form data to a server, the file input probably won't be sent. Okay, hope this makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the file input opacity to 0. And since we're dealing with the last one, which is this guy, yeah, this input, I'll say file opacity to 0. Then we have this kind of tricky part. Just try to stick with it. 0 pixel, and the same as the height is gonna be 0.1 pixel. I know what you're thinking. Now you might say, dude, why don't you set it to 0? Actually, this might be a problem for some browsers. I mean, your input could be out of the box, and this is something related to what we said earlier. Okay, let's save that and see how it's happening now. There we go. If I set the opacity to 1, you're gonna see this little tiny circle in here which stands for this file input. Okay, so when we say the opacity to null, there we go, this is what we get. If you click in here, you can get it accidentally, you can get it, but no problem. Okay, let's set the position to absolute. Okay, that's what we want. Next up, we have these two buttons. I'm talking about the one that sits here and this guy. All right, so what I'm gonna do, and I think we have another one, which is the image label. You see this label, it's gonna look like a button, I think. Okay, so let's say, because I think I give it a class of upload. Yeah, this one, it's gonna be that one. Okay, so let's say upload, and the buttons, I'll say color, it's gonna be white, and then the background is gonna be the same, just like I said earlier. And there's a padding of 5 pixel, and there's a border of 2 pixel solid, and the same color, and border radius again 5 pixel, and the cursor is gonna be a pointer. Let's save, take a look. There we go. This is the input. This is the preview button, and this is the download button. Okay. Now you see that span in here? I'm gonna try to make it looking that tiny. Okay. So I'll take it, and I'll say span. It's in the form, you see, just this one. And I'll set the font size to 12 pixel. Take a look. Good one. And I think we're gonna be at the preview button now. And I'll set the font size to 16 pixel. Margin top of 1M and margin left of 2M. See how it look? There we go. And the what's next? The chord. Yeah, we have the chord now. Now I'll dive into this whole chord stuff. Okay. And for that, we're gonna start with the result. Yeah, result one. Okay. So what I'm gonna say, result, and set the position to relative. Okay. And the width is gonna be 70%. The whole container, there's a margin left of 15%. Border of 2 pixels solid. I think it's gonna be that way. Yeah, that's what I wanted. This border radius of 12 pixel. And finally a margin bottom of 2M. Save. Take a look. There we go. You can see the final product. Okay, the image is overlapping, the logo is overlapping because we haven't set its size yet. So we'll head over to the header now. And so what I'm going to say, header, set the width to 100% of the container, and then the background to the same guy, this one. Okay, let's take a look, and you can see it looks this way. We need to change the color, and we should give it a border radius. Okay, so I'll give it the border radius of what? 12 pixel. Okay, let's take a look at that. All right, there we go. But you see this stuff going on the bottom of the image. This is part of this header. Okay, and I don't want to see this the bottom radius, the bottom border radius. I just wanted them to sit on the top to fit the container borders radius. Okay, so I'll say 12 pixels for the left top, 12 pixels for the right top, 0 pixel for both the bottom. Okay, let's take a look, and there you go. You can see that it disappears now, and there's a color of white. Take a look. There we go. All right, looks good. Okay, here comes the image, which is the logo. So I'll set the logo. I'll set the width to, I think, 80 pixel, same as the height. It's gonna be 80 pixel, and we'll float it to the right. Hit save. Okay, it kind of looks better now. Alright, so now this div, which is the camp, is gonna have a width of 40%. Okay, this one. So I'll say camp. I'll say the width is gonna be 40%. I'll save. There we go. And then we're gonna need to style the H4, the H4 tag, and the other one. It's gonna have a margin of 12 pixel, auto 0 and 7 pixel. And then we're gonna have style the span, which will has a margin left of 8 pixel. Let's take a look now. Okay, no big changes, so I think now in order to avoid overlapping with the next elements, which are these ones, the UL, and later on we're gonna have the image. We're gonna have to set 3 lines. Those 3 lines, I'm gonna go back to the header, and I'll say header after, I'll say content, it's gonna be null, nothing, and I'll set the display to flex or anything else, and I'll say clear both. Hit save. There we go. Now if we float, if you go back to here and we float this camp to the left, we're gonna see the exact required thing we've been looking for. Okay, now we're gonna need to style the next thing, which is the content. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say content. It will take a width of 80% of the whole card, and we're gonna need to tweak the student card. Okay, the student image. So I'm gonna say content img, and I'll set the width to 80 pixel, the height to 105 pixel, and set the margin left to 7 pixel, and margin top of 12 pixel, and it should be floated to the left. Okay, let's take a look. There we go. Now you can see it's overlapping with the UL, the list. So what I'm gonna do next, the UL width is gonna be 50%, and it should be floated again to the left now, and it's gonna have a padding left of 15 pixel. Now if I get rid of that and see what would happen, you can see that the UL is getting cool in here, and if I hit save now, there you go. This is gonna be fixed using the list style type, and I'll say content ULLI, and I'll set list style type to none. I'm gonna get rid of the dots, that's okay, but this button shouldn't be here inside the card. I think there's a problem coming out of HTML. So this is the card. Okay. Okay, it should be out of the container. Let's see now what happened. There we go. There it is. This is the button. It's out of the box now. Let's get back. I guess you noticed that you've been making pretty much the same thing from the beginning. I mean, we made the main area, which has a class of back as top parent element. Then we've divided into 2 big equal boxes forming the container, and we went the same way throughout the whole container. But I think what's next, this button should have a bigger font size, so I'll say down. Font size is gonna be 18 pixel. I think that's cool. Quite better. Anyways, alright, that's almost done with CSS, but we just need to add maybe like 6-7 lines or more to give it a responsive layout, because you know, if you go and see the mobile view, it's really terrific. And this is how government websites look like in this case. So what I'm gonna say at media only screen and max width set to 768 pixel, which stands for the tablet, and smaller screen size. Now the form and the container will both have a 90% of the total width. So I'll say container and form, and we'll set the width to 90%, and margin left is going to be 5%. Let's take a look now at the mobile view. This is not working. And this end should have a space after. So this is how it looked like in the mobile view. Okay. And we're gonna have to set something else, which is about the result. Margin left is 0. Okay. And last thing, which is the download button, which will have a margin right of 2n, and margin bottom again of 2n. Okay, hit save. Okay, it doesn't show up in here. I don't know why exactly, but if I set this to margin right to say 5% and hit save, I think this button should be here. I think that's it. Alright, finally we finished that heavy styling part. Now we'll jump right into JavaScript.